Greetings, beautiful kings and queens. There we go. Welcome, welcome to another powerful episode of our RAWvolution podcast. I am Queen Aline, and I am joined today by my beautiful sis, Queen Noa Gaia Lakshmi. And today we will be talking about the essential keys to radiant health. So Queen Noa is absolutely incredible. Welcome. Am I on the Facebook Live as well? I don't know. I'm not
I
seeing
think
myself.
so.
We're going two ways. I don't see myself on the Facebook one. Do you see me?
I'm going right now to check.
Okay. It seems frozen on my end. We're double tagging. We're sharing from her group as well, Purification to Liberation. But you seem frozen on that one. So it's okay. We'll just take a moment to welcome
Yeah,
everybody.
I don't see you're live on your page, although it does say that you are live, so it's kind of strange. Oh no. Okay. I see you now.
Okay, we don't see me. Okay, let me come out and try to come back in to the live on Facebook. Yeah, Chas says she doesn't see me. Let me try again. There I am.
There you
Now I
are.
see me. Perfect, perfect. Welcome, welcome, beautiful communities. Love you all so much. I love having these talks, these life transforming conversations. Please share with your friends and family. This is for the world to, receive. All right, perfect. Good, good, good. Receive these downloads, these powerful transmissions, this information. Queen Noa has been, over the last many years of her life, diving deep into cellular regeneration, helping people, making it her mission to really help people to live a life of vitality, well-being, and soul fulfillment through fasting, juicing, the fruit path, everything grounding, returning back to nature, sun gazing. She has a beautiful community, like I said, the Sotera Foundation, from purification to liberation, really assisting people through their detoxification process. And she is a wealth of knowledge, information, wisdom. She's a yoga teacher, a musician, a published author. I can go on and on about this incredible, incredible queen who is here to support us. And even me on a personal level, she's been helping me so much to embrace the fruit path, to release a lot of the stuck energy that's been in my body, to come back to love, come back home to myself. And I am so grateful to have these conversations with you, because they truly are just absolutely life transforming. So we are so honored to have you here, and thank you for welcoming me as well into your community. Thank you for being here. So let's get started. How are you doing today?
My absolute pleasure, Aline. Aline is a dear sister, and we've been weaving our magic now here for the last few weeks, but actually our connection started about a year ago, and it's such a joy and a delight to I just hear myself on your end, so it's a little distracting.
Let's do this. I'm going to turn the volume off from here. Okay, there we go. We got it.
Oh yes, I have my volume off as well.
Hold on, I still hear you. Because if I just hear you from one end, then I don't need to hear you from this one, and it won't cause an echo. So
Right.
Let's try this. Okay, I think we're good now.
Okay. Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
All right.
We cracked the code. We've cracked the
code. We got one mic here. We got this one for the phone. Thank you all for your patience as we figure out this 3D technology to allow us to do 5D work.
Yeah, so I was saying that, Aline and I have known each other now for over a year, I would say, and just the last few weeks, things have come into fuller fruition of the seeds that we started planting a year ago, and it's such a gift. Yeah, it's such a gift to weave with you and play with you and offer our shared knowledge and wisdom and experience with others that are interested in this kind of lifestyle, because for both Aline and I mean, I feel that I can speak for Aline on this one, that it's so much more than just a trendy thing or something that we are just doing for a year and then forgetting all about it. It's a life. It really is a life. And even though and Aline can share more from her side if she wants, but even though Aline came into it because, yeah, it was for healing, it was if it was addictions or whatever was going on physically and mentally, and she came into this from that door for that reason. And same thing from me. I mean, not to that extent, but it was, yeah, it was, I just never knew that this whole thing is going to turn out to what it is now, and it really is. It's a way of living. It's a way of living, and that's part of what we'll be talking about here today and sharing. The keys to radiant health. That it's not about losing weight or just wanting to look good, or and not to say that those are not great reasons. It's just there's so much more to this lifestyle. There's so many gifts that it offers, and it really does become a lifestyle that supports your health and your whole life.
Yeah. Yes. It's like we have no idea what's going to happen from taking that first step. And it could be, I remember, you were talking at some point, you and I, about hot yoga, for example. And I've had this experience too, where I thought I was going to, shape my body, and I wanted it to be a certain thing. And I wanted it to just lose a little weight and detox. And then it became a spiritual experience. I didn't really realize the full extent of what yoga was going to bring into my life, like spiritually, right? And that road that it carried me on. So for sure, some people may be like, oh my gosh, I need to get on a juice cleanse because I need to lose 50 pounds, 100 pounds. I don't want to go through that surgery, right? It's like the immediate thing is I need to lose weight, for example. And then they start realizing they're having more vivid dreams. They're finding they can meditate easier. They're connecting to their higher spirit. They're starting to journal. Like all of these things start to develop as we take that step to better self-care. So it's really beautiful. And same here. I mean, even 5 years ago, if you told me like I would come to a point where I would only be feeling called to eat fruit, like that was not at all in my reality. I was like focusing on, raw vegan, whole foods and all of this. And then there's come a point where I started getting called to a different layer, layer of healing, of like experience as I've been letting go. And now I'm seeing like what's possible. And again, it's not, we don't all have the same path, but all I'm saying is that things can develop into something else. And they usually do, from taking that first step to health. And then it kind of grows from there. The self-love grows from there. The new passions can grow from there. The new purpose can grow from there. And it most likely will, because you're coming, like you so well explained it, you're coming home to your true self. You're removing what is no longer, what isn't you, basically, that you've accumulated thinking it was you, like we identify with these things. I identified with smoking cannabis for so many years. That was my medicine. That was like, nobody could take that away from me. And that's, not to talk about all the other drugs and alcohol that really took a hold on me. But on some level, I didn't identify as much with the alcohol or the drugs. It was just like something I had to go through, to like an initiation. I always knew I was being initiated. I was being like, I always felt God through everything. That's the crazy thing. It's like I always felt I was being trained in a sense, or I had to go through those experiences. But I was always very conscious of like, oh my gosh, I'm going to carry myself to my almost death. And I knew it. I could see it. I even knew it when I was a child. I felt I felt my path, my journey from then. I knew I was going to go through drugs. Like I just knew it. And then, but the cannabis, all this to say that the cannabis was a constant that was in my life that wasn't really killing me, wasn't really like having that many effects, like sure, it was making me forget things, but I was like so holding on to it. And that was my identity. It was like who I was. And that was a really difficult one for me to let go of. And then once I did, then like new doors started opening, because then it did started causing problems. At some point, it really did start causing a lot of problems, like not just physically, but mentally. Like I literally couldn't remember anything. I had to have it. I was using it very compulsively. And in the last few years, it would lead me to wanting more drugs, harder drugs, and things like that. So I ended up leaving it completely. But I didn't know, on some level, it's like, I just wanted to get clean. Like I just wanted to stop using. I had no idea it was going to lead me to this present moment right now, to juice cleansing, to water fasting, and all these things. Like I just wanted to get clean. And then I realized what it takes to really get clean, because I got into like the rehab centers and all those places, and I saw how people were continuously relapsing, and the foods they were eating, and starting to make the connection. It's like, oh my gosh, but they're just replacing the drugs with food, and they're putting on 40, 50 pounds by the time they leave this place. And I'm like, oh, that's not going to be me. Like, I definitely don't want to just like fall into the food addiction and the pharmaceutical addictions and all of that. So it's been a journey of like really purifying my temple in all the ways, and really taking it to that like highest level of purification. I was like, if I'm going to do this sober thing, like I'm going to do it right. Yeah.
Beautiful share. And this is exactly why the name of the group, at least the group that we are in now, is called From Purification to Liberation.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really about that journey that we purify. We start with a physical body, but everything is connected.
Mm-hmm.
So just like you said with the cannabis, for example, at first you didn't really see the effects, but then you started to feel the effects, even mentally and emotionally. Everything is connected. And once we start purifying the body, then all the other elements and the other aspects of our human existence are going to follow suit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of like, I call it like God's sense of humor, because God allures us in a certain direction so we can experience the fullness of who we are. So we may walk through the door of, I mean, Bikram yoga was for me as well, like hot yoga. I didn't go to a Bikram yoga class because, I was searching for enlightenment or anything like that. I heard that you burn a lot of calories in a Bikram yoga class. And I'm like, okay, great, sign me up. Right. So that was the alluring way to get me into it. And my healing started then, big time. And I didn't know anything about healing back then, but on a soul level, just like you said, like we know there's just this knowing. And so we're going to gravitate towards those things that are moving us in the direction of our true purpose, which is to know who we truly are and to be liberated. So from purification to liberation. But, in many cases, people don't walk through the door because they're necessarily looking for liberation, or we don't even know what it means until we actually walk through the door and we start walking this path. And you start seeing, oh my God, yeah, like freeing myself from the addictions, from the patterns, from the habits, from all those things that are not me, all those identities that is not the truth of who I am. And this is actually at the core of radiant health, because I mean, we can definitely talk about, and we will talk about some of the more concrete, you can say, or practical elements to radiant health, and living foods and fruits and the juices and the fasting is definitely a part of it. And at the core of radiant health and really finding the potential that this body holds is that fundamental knowing of who I truly am. And we've been talking about this again and again, and we'll continue to go back to that self-love, because it's all about that, and loving the self that you truly are. And that's going to create the space for you to make the choices that really support you and really going to elevate you, because you recognize that this is your birthright. You're just not going to settle for anything else. Yeah, it's just
Why
that.
why is it so scary for people to be who they truly are, do you think? Like I've thought about this a lot. I'm like, why is it so hard to sit with myself? Even to sit in meditation, I've experienced this. I know a lot of people tell me, oh my gosh, meditation is just so hard. I really struggle. And I'm like, why are we so scared of ourselves? Why are we so scared of being with ourselves? And I speak for myself too. Like this has been a journey. Like, why do I constantly need to be distracted? Or, my phone, the TV, the this, the doing, like always distracting myself from just sitting with myself. Like, why do you think that's so hard and not a journey to doing that?
Wow, that is such a profound question, Aline. Well, I can give you my perspective on this, and I would also kind of toss it back to you. Is like, why is it hard for you to sit with yourself?
Yeah.
Like, I don't. It may be different for every person, but what you're saying is kind of like a general thing that many people experience, right? So there is that, the conditioning, right? That's number one. We've been conditioned. We were born into a very distracted society. Like everything that is in our system, and that's the part of the purification, is really releasing all those things that are just not yours. And that includes everything that we inherited from the genetic code or genetic inheritance of our family tree on a physical level. All the things that run in the family, they run because everybody just kept on running with it. But
Ooh, whoa.
but I can stop here and say it's not going to run with me anymore. The overweight is not going to run with me. The kidney issues are not going to run with me. The diabetes is not going to run with me. The acne, like whatever it is, you always see the same thing running in the family. And the fact that people have not connected the dots yet is quite a curious thing. However, we inherit not only that genetic makeup, but we inherit emotional patterns, emotional tendencies, addictions. That's all that the genetic code from our family tree that keeps that we keep receiving, or each generation just keep on receiving and passing on, receiving and passing on. Now that genetic blueprint also includes the conditioning of our society. So it depends on which culture you come from, of course, and which environment and country those things play a part. And at the same time, so you're going to have kind of like a cultural slash family related inheritance, right? That somebody that is born in Egypt is not going to be the same as somebody born in Japan when it comes to the culture. So there's that. And at the same time, there's this, you can say, planetary or global, or the collective consciousness in which we are all subjected to, no matter which country you come from, because things, let's say, like the oppression of the patriarchy, how the feminine has been suppressed for so many generations, that is a global thing. Some countries are more steeped in it, some cultures are more than others, but overall there's this it's the collective, or the collective unconscious, it's called. So those are things that are in the collective unconscious, you can call it agreements, that we come into this incarnation, and we come into those agreements.
Yeah.
So one of them in this day and age, the generation that we were born into, is one that is very much based on distractions, and the notion that you are lacking something, that you are not whole and complete, and there's something outside of myself that I need in order to be okay. Like, we were born into this pop culture also that is steeped in vanity, you know, and always playing on people's insecurities and fears, like you're not beautiful enough, especially for women, but men have the same issues. You know, you're not muscle enough, you're not this enough, you're always not enough, you're not enough, you're not enough, you're not enough. And so that is the greatest setup for, here, let me sell you something, or here, let me show you that you need to use this in order to feel okay with yourself. But it's a bottomless pit, like we were talking
Yeah.
about last week, right? So relating all of this back to your question, there is this it's kind of like this emptiness that we feel, that many people feel, that they're scared to actually feel. It's like, if I sit quiet with myself, I'm actually going to tap into how empty I feel inside, and it's very uncomfortable. And we were also conditioned to avoid discomfort at all costs. We just don't, like, just seek pleasure, avoid the discomfort. So for many people, it's the discomfort of actually, for the first time ever, maybe, to feel truly what is going on inside. If it's emptiness, if it's numbness, if it's pain, it's avoided. It's the avoidance strategies that people use. So distraction is just one strategy to use in order to kind of circle around what is actually here in the center. Right, but what's interesting is that what we fear the most, or the cave that we fear to enter, is the very place that is leading us to our greatest life and our greatest light.
Yeah. Yes.
And it's okay, because it's a process as well. It's a process as well to arrive to that place. But I would say that is one very significant thing regarding, like, why people are so scared or uncomfortable. It's actually because they don't want to be comfortable. They want to avoid the discomfort of actually feeling themselves for the first time, and what is actually going on inside, and feeling that emptiness. And then, yeah, I would love to hear from you, just what has been your challenge in that.
Oh, so much this. Yes, thank you. What a beautiful explanation and insights. I'm going to, well, I wanted to mention Queen Cha's comment. She says, we fear our own greatness. And that really hit home, because I really love Miriam Williamson's poem that says, you know, it is not our darkness that we fear, it is our light. You know, we ask ourselves, who are we to be? Fabulous, beautiful, successful, and all of this. And it's like, who are you not to be? That's how the poem goes. I can't remember it all by heart, but you know, it's really about saying yes to claiming our queendom, our kingdom, our authentic self. And I think the trauma definitely does have a big impact. And of course, the like generations and all of that that's passed on into us, where we grow up in a certain way. Trying to make ourselves smaller, trying to make ourselves not noticeable. Some of us grew up with the term, you know, with the idea of like, you know, children are meant to be seen, not heard. Like don't go to your room, like don't express yourself. So all of that has like really stunted our self-expression, our feeling love towards ourselves. Many of us have been bullied, have been cast aside, whether it's kids at school or your families, where you feel like you don't belong. So better to stay quiet and keep the peace and don't rock the boat than be a shining, bright fucking star that's here to change the world, that's going to ruffle some feathers, that's going to upset some people. And I speak from my own experience, being a very shy child, a very, very introverted, keep to myself, until I started rebelling. And of course, this wasn't conscious, but those comforts, staying comfortable is an illusion, right? Because in the end, if you're staying comfortable and comfortable. I say comfortable because we often find ourselves comfortable in our addictions, right? In the food and the drugs and the alcohol and the sex. That could be an idea of our comfort and not wanting to change. But in reality, we're just trying to numb ourselves and distract ourselves from who we truly are, from our purpose. And that's, in a sense, you could look at it as, I don't know, the work of the devil in a sense, or the work of the enemy trying to bring us away from what God has in store for us. I definitely feel like for me, it's been a spiritual battle. And one of my friends made this very clear to me in my last relapse, where she said, there is a war on your soul. There is literally a war on your soul. Like the devil has been trying to bring you down because you are on a big mission and you need to know that. And I just like felt my whole body, like I cried, I surrendered. I was like, wow, like this is what's going on. I really feel like I'm being attacked in so many ways, from the enemy through these things that were literally killing me. Like I was killing myself. I thought I was killing myself, and I didn't really see that there could be some forces here at play on my spirit, on my body, to literally take me down. And then I started looking into that, like the devil comes to like seek, kill, and destroy. Like he is merciless. Like he wants to take down God's chosen people. And it was definitely from that moment on that I really like started looking at things a different way. Like I really need to arm myself spiritually, not just physically, but spiritually, and like strengthen myself through God, through the word of God, through positive friends, through really, really protecting myself from these attacks, and making choices that align with my highest good and start being in my purpose. So once I started doing that, when I did my water fast, actually, when I felt God, I was in sober living at that point. I went to Austin, and it was in that sober house with women eating pizza around me, drinking Coke, energy drinks, chips, sodas, all the things, smoking cigarettes. And I had already been on a very healthy path, before that relapse. I had been juice cleansing, I had been raw vegan, like, even in my relapse, like there were certain things I just wouldn't touch, right? Like I was just like, this didn't make sense, but to me it made sense. Like, don't bring me bread, but I'm like smoking crack, and it's just like nothing, but like it made sense in my head because I had already gone such a long way with my health. And then boom, like something happened, and everything happens for a reason, I do believe that. And as much as I like to talk about the enemy's attacks, like God does allow these things to happen, I believe, for our higher purpose and our higher consciousness as well. I do feel like everything has been on purpose, and everything has been very, very sacredly orchestrated in my life to get to where I am. But all this to say that loving myself. Like, oh yeah, the comforts end up being so uncomfortable, right? Because those foods could lead somebody to 600-800 pounds, right? That's comfort. But again, it's an illusion of comfort because that person really needs help. The drugs that may have brought me comfort for a while led me to being on the streets with no money, with no child, having lost absolutely everything. So it's just a matter of time that these constructs that we build to how to say, like, to comfort ourselves end up being the thing that destroys us. So that true comfort needs to come from a sober place within ourselves, and we need to learn how to self-soothe ourselves as a parent would a child without these artificial stimulants. I'd go as far as saying even coffee is a stimulant. It is a stimulant that is a comfort. Like, just all of these things, we don't even realize how much they are causing harm on our life, and we think we need them for we're just addicted to them. I was addicted to them, therefore I thought it was a comfort. And once I went through that period of withdrawal, right, there is a period of withdrawal, and that is the period that I call the hero's journey. that those few days where you may be shaking, you may be jittery, you may be having cold sweats, you may be bawling your eyes out, right? Like ask somebody who came off of crack or heroin or all these drugs. Like it is fucking brutal. Like I won't lie, it is a brutal experience that one goes through to, and we need to remember those moments in order to not go back to them, because we think it's just going to be this one and this one thing. Even with the food, like I'm going through it again, there's a period of withdrawal, there's going to be a detox, there's going to be headaches. And if one could go through those moments of difficulty, you come out on the other side and you realize that you didn't even need them in the first place. Or you start realizing all those uncomfortable emotions that brought you to using, to eating, to smoking. But it's kind of like a door. It's like I would open this door. I knew it was going to be hard, but I knew I had to walk through that door and there was going to be another side. And there's like that trust fall, that jump and the net will appear kind of situation, that you just have to have faith that the thing that you thought you couldn't live without, that thing that's actually killing you, once you let it go, you're going to be caught and you're going to be fine and you're going to make it out alive and you're going to be even better on the other side. And that's the trust piece. You know, if anybody's struggling with anything, like you need to trust in your higher self. You need to trust in a higher power. To me, it was God, like the universe, like you are divinely protected and guided. And it's so crazy, right? It's like I thought I was going to die without those substances, and in reality they were killing me. And now I look back and I'm like, holy shit, like I don't ever want to touch that again because I am so much better without it. There's just a change in perspective, and you have to cleanse the body from those chemicals and those toxins, because it is night and day. Like I start doing drugs, I don't care about my daughter. I don't care about my friends. I don't care about work. Like I lose all sense of reality. Everything gets tuned into that one thing and that one thing alone, and that is to use, period. I lose all sense of reality. Everything goes out the window. I am not the person I am today. So there's a chemical transformation that happens when we get these drugs out of our body. When we get these chemicals and these stimulants out of our body, we do change, you know? So that's pretty trippy to think about that, and to think of all the things that I was doing when I was high that I would never do right now, being sober and having my head on my shoulder and just like not being under the influence of those chemicals in my body. I'm a completely different person today. So there is another side. That's all I wanted to say, that those comforts that we think are helping us end up being the prison that keeps us locked in and is actually really killing us. That's been my experience anyway.
Beautifully said. And I'm not sure if you're seeing it, but there's beautiful comments that are coming, that have been
Oh,
coming, this whole time that you've been talking. And I feel inspired to comment on one comment, and then also
oh,
weave in what you said. Justin actually commented on your question regarding, why is it so hard for people, and what I want to make a comment about is, that we are angels, like we are fallen angels, basically, right? So he said in his comment that how do you get angels to forget who they are and act as slaves? Because this is really the whole notion of liberation, is to liberate ourselves from the slavery. And when I say slavery, it might sound like a very harsh, impacted word, but we are all slaves to something. Anything that we are addicted to and or dependent on, that that puts us in a slavery position, even if it's food, in a sense, like I have to have this thing. And so there's a spectrum of how slave like we can be, but but rest assured that once you start purifying, once we start really feeling and tuning in what's going on, and the reason and the whys behind why we're doing what we're doing, then we realize just how in slavery we've been. But that's the greatest trick, is to put or to make someone a slave or put someone in slavery without them knowing that they're actually a slave. That's like a great tactic, right? To make somebody a puppet without them knowing that, like, they're dancing to someone else's tune. They're actually different strings pulling on them, and they're just doing the dance, really believing that I'm a free agent. Well, no, no, you're not, right? So going back to the image, right? And I invite everyone to really envision that you are an angel, and angels do have wings. But when there's a fallen angel, when you put somebody in a cage, in a sense, right, or make them believe or forget that they're angels, so then the wings are not working per se, right? Because the angel is under the effect of some sort of a psychedelic trip or just a drug that made them forget who they are and what they have. So if you don't know that you have wings, then you don't have the courage to fly, because how can I fly? I don't have wings. But this is exactly what faith is about, and what you said a little bit ago, that you knew when you have God in your heart, then you take the jump, even
Oh no, she froze. She said it was raining a little bit where she is. Uh-oh. Come back. Oh no. Y'all can still see me on my page? We came off the stream on Facebook, on her page. I think she froze. Oh yeah, she's gone. Oh no. Oh, sorry about that. We'll try to get her back on. Try to get her back on. 1 second. Let me see what's going on. This is so good. Thank you all so much for being here. I just want to laugh at Jadica's comment. I just see your comment. Share your dad. Love you, girl. You're hilarious. Ah. Yes, Justin says, we then believe we are powerless, worthless sinners, or just randomly evolved on scum. We believe it so much that when we start to feel our power by meditating and being with the self, we fear that we discover what we discover. It means we have to confront the lie we've adopted completely. Whoa. Yes. This is so wise, Justin. Aw. Yes. Hmm. It is a remembering. It is really truly a remembering of who we are. And I'm gonna have to see this again and read it again. Takes me a little minute to absorb things. This is so deep, Justin. I was talking about this to my friend yesterday too on a call that, for me to like call myself a queen has really been such a kind of funny in a sense, because I really have done that, have felt the opposite, the scum of the earth, exactly. Oh, she's back. And so to raise myself to that level has been a journey. There she is, she's back.
uh,
Sorry we lost you.
oh my God, you guys, it's Costa Rica
I
Wi-Fi. You
know, yeah.
just never know what's gonna happen, if it's gonna
Hold on.
stay on
Are
for
we
the
doing
whole
the,
time or not.
Facebook again? Hold on, let me see.
Yeah, so just come back to
Are we
the
going live back on Facebook?
Yeah, come back to my group,
Okay.
and
All
I'll add you to. Hi, Bella. It's all perfect. I
right. Let's get that set up again.
It's all perfect. Oh my goodness. As I was talking about us spreading the
Okay.
wings. Aline, I'm sure you kept on going. Okay.
You're too strong, Queen. Hold on. I can't seem to add myself to the live stream. Thank you all for your patience.
It says unable to add guest.
I can't seem to add myself to the live. Okay, here we go. All right, let's go.
Yeah, it just takes a moment. Oh, here we go. Okay. Um,
Perfect.
shall I just continue with what I was saying, or I don't know
Yeah,
if
sure.
you were talking about something, and you can just go ahead and finish what you were talking about.
No, we're perfect. I read Justin's other comment that he wrote, and I was just going to go through a few comments that Michaela had said. My beautiful sister Mac, she says, "I have to protect myself every morning with meditation. I have to protect myself every night with meditation, and often 5 times a day, 3 times a day, I meditate to keep myself grounded and connected spiritually." That's so beautiful, sis. Thank you so much for sharing that. And like, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of your progress, of your incredible growth, and to heal yourself, to do better, exercise, be a good mom, all those things. So impressed with you. Nancy asked me to read what Justin said again. So I will read it. I need to read it again for myself too. He
Yeah.
says, "We then believe we are powerless, worthless sinners, or just randomly evolved pond scum. We believe it so much that when we start to feel our power by meditating and being ourselves, we fear what we discover because it means we have to confront the lie we've adopted completely." Go deep.
Yep.
Justin, you on a whole other level.
Yeah. And that's really the truth behind it is it's a threat to the ego because it's built on those lies. It's built on these false identities, and basically the ego is built on a survival mechanism. It doesn't want to die. It doesn't want you to know that you are an angel. It doesn't want you to spread the wings. And that is quote unquote the enemy. Because what you were talking about earlier, Aline, that there's an enemy, and it's true, there are, we can say, forces that, energetic, spiritual forces that are of the dark, that can present a lot of challenges to a soul and drag them into darkness. However, there's really nothing external. We are never a victim. So whatever is happening, even if it is an energetic force that is pulling us, and there's a war, like you said, on your soul, which is very true. There's a lot of tortured souls. And we can look into past lives, and the rabbit hole continues on and on and on. However, though, it's all internal. Basically, it was a representation, or you were seeing what was going on inside. There's a war inside. There was a war inside. It was your ego, quote unquote, the dark side battling the light side, the angel battling the devil, right? We see those metaphors in all the stories, always. There's the villain and there's the hero. So it's all within ourselves. It's all within ourselves. And the devil doesn't want you to know that you are an angel, because when you know that you are the angel and that you have wings to fly, then the devil loses its power. And when I say devil, it's the dark force within ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And so in meditation, going back to that, there's just this, you got to confront all those lies. And the ego doesn't want you to do that, because then it's like, oh, busted. Now I take the mask off. Oh, I see you for the clown that you are. But this whole time the ego is just pretending to not be a clown, and that those are the distractions. They're like, let me distract you and let me allure you into things that are distracting you from your light and from knowing that you are an angel, because then you're going to fly away, and the clown doesn't have that power anymore. Yeah. However, though, I like in my approach to convey the message of love. So there's no true enemy in the sense when we understand, well, what is this ego? What is the devil, so to speak? And we've talked about this, Aline. It's this wounded child. It's that this cute wounded child that is using that mask of the ego to get our attention. So it's not about destroying the ego, so to speak. It's more about understanding what it is for what it is, and then becoming the master of it. So it's actually working for us and not against us. And that's when we start creating more harmony and peace within ourselves, which is one of the reasons also why it can feel very uncomfortable and threatening for many people to sit in that meditation, because there's a war. No one wants to go into a war zone. Inside, there's just like so many conflicts and wars going on that it's very unpleasant. I don't want to go there, right? But again, it's we got to step into the fire, so to speak, just so we can walk through it and be free of it. And that's when we start unraveling all the layers of the falsehood and those lies. And this also goes back to what I said earlier about all the conditionings that we've inherited from family and all the way to the collective consciousness and those agreements. So bringing it a little bit more down to earth, this is what this health journey is about, and the fruits and the living foods, right? If we just focus on that component for a moment, those are the food for angels. If we look at physical food, because it's really about bringing the light into the system, bringing the light, so we just amplify the light within ourselves, the light that is already in me. Because it doesn't matter how dark you've been, so to speak, or the dark path that you've gone down for as long as you have, there's always that light inside. Always, always, always. And so even if that little spark always exists, so it's just a matter of start fueling that little spark of light, and then it continues to grow and to grow and to grow and to grow, and there's really no end to how much that light can grow. It's just when you look at the sun, it's infinite light. It's blazing sun all the time, a blazing light, even if it's a cloudy day. That's what our darkness is, basically. It's just clouds covering the sun. And those clouds can linger for a day or maybe 15 years. But nevertheless, the sun is always there shining. So when we bring the living foods, when we bring the fruits, when we bring the hydration, it's like not only like a water hose into the body, like literally like water hose, but it's also light hose. And that's why there's so much healing that happens. It's not just the body that is healing. It's not just the body that begins to purify all the junk and the obstructions. It's literally the light. The more light you bring in, the darkness just doesn't have room. So it starts pushing out the darkness. Yeah. And those are the essential keys to radiant health, in the sense of anything that assists the individual to amplify the light inside, and to, we use this term a lot, like raise your vibration, right? But it really is, it's just which frequency am I vibrating on? Nothing is bad or good or better or worse. It's just, well, do I want to dance with the lights? What feels really good and true? Because that's the other thing. Like, whatever is true is going to resonate with light. It's going to be simple, and it's going to be of the light, and it's going to make you feel light, right? And we talked about that, how light and light, same word, different meanings. But the more light we bring, the lighter we feel. And that is more of our truth. And that's why it feels good.
That's a good indication. Thank you for presencing that. And I think that's such a good indication because we do have our inner compass, right? I always come back to that. No matter what, we do have an inner compass, whether or not we're super in touch with it, that's a whole other story. But we can definitely tune into our intuition and to how our body feels to know whether something is good for us or not. You know, if we're like in a difficult relationship, for example, like we could feel in our body how this person makes us feel or how we feel after a difficult conversation. Is it constantly heavy, dense energies, you know, like you could tap into how your body feels and that'll indicate to you whether something is really light or it's bringing you to the darkness, you know, either helping you elevate or bringing you down energetically. As food too, like I could look at food and I could know, like, okay, this is going to bring me light and this is going to bring me down. You know, like I could tell, I know it. Sometimes I choose the other one. I'm not saying I always choose the light one, but I know it. So it's like these practices, especially meditation, and the more we go on to the living foods and the fruits and the juices, the more tapped in we really are to that inner compass. Now somebody comes into my energy field that wants to take away my light or that's of the darkness or is going uh, or is like very jealous, that kind of energy, like I feel it right away and they're not in my life anymore. You know, I won't even tolerate this kind of energy in my life anymore. I'm very quick to protect my energy much more than before. I was like a sponge, but I was letting everybody in and everybody in. And it's a party over here, you know, like, but now I'm much more selective, much more mindful of the energy that comes through. Even the music I listen to, if it feels like too much, I'm like, Zaya, turn that off. Like, I can't take that because that's really lowering my frequency, it's lowering my energy, and I need to really protect my energy so that I can continue to make the positive choices every day. But if it's like, you know, even I got caught up in a reality show not too long ago. I'll be real. Like I watch Netflix sometimes. Like I'm not someone who's ever watch TV. Like I have shows. I watch Messiah sometimes, and I got caught up in one of those like reality shows, like Love Island. I don't know if anybody's ever watched that. But I really got sucked into it, you know. And I was just like just mindless entertainment, you know. But when it finished, first of all, I was super depressed because I wanted it to continue, and second of all, I felt like I just felt really down, like, it didn't like, I thought it was bringing me up, but it really was kind of bringing me down in a way, so I was just like, "Maybe I shouldn't watch reality TV," you know, and it's not something that I do a lot, but I really, like I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this is such a great, this is so exciting," you know, and like, they have a way of bringing you in too. You watch one, you're like, "Oh, this is so stupid," but you just can't stop watching. So, but I just realized how it was bringing me down energetically. So, yeah, just saying that we do know what helps us, what doesn't, and it's up to us to take that step. So let's talk a little bit about so we touched a lot on meditation, the raw foods, the living foods. What other keys have you uncovered, you know, to radiant health? Do you have a practice? Do you do something like advising? I know you don't touch your phone right away when you get up. Like, what's your how do you get yourself started? You know, maybe this might help those that are on this path that may be looking for like some tips and tricks. I know the first moments of our day is really significant in and how we can how we live our days. I'd be curious to hear like what are some of the practices that you have.
Right. Well, I feel like my whole day is one continuous practice, and in my life, really is just everything becomes a meditation. Everything becomes like an offering of some sort. Um, I'll touch on the like morning thing, but nature for me, like being outside, and I know that not everybody lives in a tropical place, or like now is summertime in the northern hemisphere, that it's easier for people to be outside, but that is really our natural environment, that we can be outside year round, the tropics or even the Mediterranean. Um, so that is key. Like the keys to essential health, actually, you don't need to pay anything. They're all free. Sunshine, really the simple thing. And people like think if it's so simple, then it might not be true, or it's, let me just go and talk to my doctor or read a book or give me the scientific research. Do I need to give you the scientific research that the sun is good for you? Not going to come from me. But
Some people are scared of the sun, I will say. They're
well,
very scared of the sun.
I know. Well, that's the illusion. That's like the slavery that people have signed up to be, and like plugged into this matrix of lies. But sunshine, for example, is something that I'm adamant about. Like every day, I'm going to expose my body and as naked as possible, which is another thing. Like I don't like to wear clothes. I wear the minimal that I need to wear, like to be in public. But you got to let your skin breathe. Like really, okay, maybe you don't have like, you can't really wear like little dresses because it's still chilly or whatever. But when I see people, especially women, but no, all people, like wearing those really tight pants, that is so unhealthy, you guys. Not only that it restricts the blood flow, but also like your skin doesn't breathe. And some people are in like tight clothes all day long. Some people sleep with clothes. I'm like, how do you do that? Why do you sleep with clothes on? So be naked more. Like really, we got to embrace our bodies and let the skin breathe. The skin
And
is the
also
love. Yeah,
yeah, I was gonna add to that the type of materials too, that we wear. If we're gonna
for
wear clothes,
sure.
like not the polyester, the like artificial plastics, the lycra, whatever, like organic cotton, linen, hemp, things like that to help the skin breathe. Just wanted to add
What
that.
Well said, well said, 100%. Thank you for adding that. And usually when you get clothes like that, they will never be tight. If you have linen or cotton, bamboo, silk, it will be more loose. So I cannot, even just like I cannot eat certain foods. It just goes hand in hand. You just become so aware. You said it about the music, like everything becomes, you become so aware of everything that you bring into your field, that you put on your skin, everything. And that's how we meant to be. We meant to be sensitive to our environment, so we can discern like what is good for this temple and what is not. So in terms of practicality, is like be more naked, my friends. Like just let your skin breathe. And also dry brushing and really taking care of your skin. It's the largest organ in the body. And not only that, it's an absorption organ, it's an elimination organ. It's the only organ in the body that actually has those two functions. It's happening simultaneously. And it has so many layers to it. The skin that you see here is just the external. There's 7 layers to the skin. And the lymphatic system is very much intertwined with the skin. Okay, and one of the reasons, well, it goes hand in hand. Like people have backed up lymphatic systems, so the skin is super backed up, and then it works vice versa. The skin is backed up, and so the lymphatic system is also backed up. So letting your skin breathe, that's why sweating is so good, to open up the pores. So if you do go to a hot yoga class, or you go to saunas, or you just, if it's hot day outside, just go outside and and sweat. That will be the most natural way to sweat, is just to move outside in the sun. That's what we would do. So to be as natural as possible given the circumstances that you are in, that I would say is the number one key to your radiant health, even before the fruits and everything else. Because when you in alignment like that with nature, naturally you will want to eat the fruits of nature, literally. But in conjunction, it's the living foods, it's the fruits, and it's being outside with nature. Being in bodies of water also is very therapeutic, very healing. Immersing yourself in those bodies of water, and if it's too cold or whatever, at least walk by or sit by a body of water. If it's an ocean, if it's a lake, if it's a river, if it's a stream. Now, another super important aspect, and I see that people don't do that for months on end, if not even years, and it shocks me every time. Take off your shoes and walk barefoot. If you're in a city, find a piece of grass, find a park, find something, take your shoes off and plug in your feet to the earth. It's a must on an every single day, until you get to a point that you can't even wear shoes because it feels so unnatural. But this is one of the reasons why people's nervous system is so frazzled and so discombobulated, is feet not touching the earth. Shoes is just like the tight closed shoes are very harmful for the human organism on many levels. So, number one, wear sandals as much as possible if you are wearing something. So at least your feet can breathe, and your toes and your feet can actually be in their original position and not tucked in a shoe. And then take off your shoes as frequently as possible and walk barefoot. It's going to do wonders for your nervous system. I can't get into all the details right now and how it's connected to the vagus nerve and when you walk barefoot, but maybe we can do something about that. But walking barefoot, and I'm mentioning all the things that this is my life. Like I rarely wear shoes. It's just uncomfortable for me to do that. Then when it comes to the morning, like Aline said, yeah, care for yourself first and foremost. Care for yourself. And move in the ways that bring you joy. I really like to say that. So I'm not going to tell you like do yoga practice or do this practice and do that practice. It's really about devoting time for yourself, and then in whichever way that resonates with you at any given time. If it's yoga, awesome, do yoga. And even that, depending on what style of yoga is going to call your name. If it's qigong or whatever it is, doesn't matter. Just move in the way that brings you joy. It doesn't even need to look a certain way. So even for me, I do yoga and particular practices that I do, but it's still very intuitive. And then I'll find myself, I'll be in like a structured yoga. And then if there's like a really fun tune that is playing, I'll just start dancing. So it's like joy is key, is essential key to your health. And moving with joy is an essential key to your health. Not to listen to Aline or to Noa or somebody else, like this is the practice you should do. Well, are you enjoying it? Is your body really like, yes, bring it, like it wants to move with you in that way? Like you got to tune in. And a great example, I was a Bikram practitioner. Yeah, Bikram yoga. It's like super strict, 26 postures, same practice every single time. And I was such a hardcore practitioner of Bikram yoga for so long. And that's the only practice I did, until I got to a point that something started to shift in me and it felt too restrictive. It served its purpose. And I'm grateful for all the gifts that it brought into my life and the healing that it brought into my body and my soul. And I really was tuning in at some point. I was like, I need to move differently. Like that was just too restrictive. And that is the way of the feminine, just like intuitively, regardless if you are a male or a female, it's tuning into your body, not just following a script or, I got to go to the gym or I got to do this or I got to do that, because there's a lot of programming there as well. If you're enjoying it, then great. But if not, then ask yourself, like, how do I want to move in today? It's going to change every day. Some days you also might feel a bit higher energy and you want to go for a run. And the next day you might feel like, I'm just going to walk softly on the beach today and not really exert myself running up the hill. Yeah. So movement is another essential key. And you see all those things are free. Take off your shoes, take off your clothes, be in the sunshine, walk barefoot, move joyfully, free, nothing, nothing, just you and you yourself. Enjoy.
Beautiful, beautiful golden gems. Golden gems. It's definitely it's a bit more of a challenge when we live in the cities, to do that. I remember when I was to leave, I was always barefoot, always walking around. I wouldn't even wear shoes to like get in the car if I needed to go into town. Like I was walking barefoot everywhere, everywhere. Really any clothes. And then I come to the city and it's like a whole other reality where I'm like, okay, I need to like and then in the wintertime, where am I gonna go ground like in the snow, but at least in the summertime I do make the effort to go out into nature much more every day, go get some sun, go get to put my feet in the ground. Like it is so much nicer to be in this like warm type of weather, being in that tropical climate definitely helps. So let's all make our way to the tropics so we can be naked on the beach and freak out our bosses.
Well, and I'll say that as well, Aline, and yes, I know many people that are listening might not be living in Bali or something, but you do the best you can with what you have. I like to say that. So, yeah, when you're in a city, you might not be walking around downtown barefoot, although you could, um, depending on how much you enjoy it, because it is concrete. It's not the same as walking on grass. But again, you can go to a park. It's making the effort because it's that this is the quality of your life. So drive to a park, or if you do live in a city where it's the coastline, you go to the beach for a beach walk, whatever it may be. You just do the best you can with what you have, and nothing is too small. Nothing is too small. Even if it's like finding a piece of dirt somewhere on the street, you take your shoes off and you just stand there. That's another, by the way, another essential key to radiant health. Stop caring what other people think, because it's none of your business what they think. Just be free. Like you live in the city maybe, and you want to just like stand on a piece of dirt there and with your shoes off. If you're afraid that what other people would say, stop. Just do it, because who knows? Maybe somebody's going to see you and like, hey, that's cool. I'm going to join you. Or they're going to ask you like, what are you doing? And you're going to explain to them, I'm regulating my nervous system.
Yeah.
That's how we start sharing, my friends. We can't just be like, oh, I don't want them to see me eating the fruits and walking barefoot. Like, no, but let your magic be shown. Let your light be shown. That's how we, again, spreading the wings that we can fly. And others may or may not join us, but that's none of our business. But we're going to fly, and rest assured, others will join us. But it's not even about that. It's just about you being free. Be free, like the child that you are, the children that we are. Be free and enjoy your life.
I love that joy element. I mean, everything you're saying is so powerful. I'm actually taking some notes, but I really love the joy element that you talk about, because we could be so strict and so rigid and so like focused on the like healing part of things. It's like, "Oh, my body, I gotta do this, do that," and we can become very rigid with it. I've certainly been there, and like bringing in that joy, the laughter, the pleasure, like it's not it's not always so serious. Like we can play and have a great time, and I think that is the ultimate key is the that happiness element, laughter medicine, do things that make you laugh, surround yourself with people who bring you joy, who make you, like, just forget about the rest of the world for a few moments, that deep, deep connection, of joy, whether it's dancing or, like, being in that flow state too, like, getting to an art project so absorbed into it, or a dance. Like, I love dancing, and I'm not like a particularly good dancer or anything, but I love dancing and I love partying dancing. And so I've transformed that love for dance, and I go to ecstatic dance parties sometimes. And I discovered this in Austin. amazing experience. If y'all have never tried ecstatic dance, like it is magic, you know, because nobody cares what you look like. Everybody's kind of weird on the dance floor. Everybody's just moving to their own rhythm, doing their own thing. Like you could be as weird as you want, and it is like beautifully welcome there. It's just like people do yoga, people lay down, people dance. It is like, and it's sober usually. You know, people don't. There's no alcohol or anything like that, and it's like a really like spiritual, conscious setting. So dancing has really been something important to me. And I don't go as much here in Montreal, but I used to every single Sunday when I was living in Austin, and I absolutely loved it. I'm very like particular with the DJs too, and I have found to be a little bit disappointed here. But
Yeah,
anyway,
it really depends. I'm the same. That's one of the
yeah.
reasons why I don't really go to ecstatic dance anymore, is because I just do ecstatic dance on my own. But it's fun. It's fun to have to do it with people. But I'm the same. Like the music, I'm so sensitive also to the vibration and stuff. So yeah, it's only when I feel in resonance with a DJ that I'll go to an ecstatic dance. And by the way, Aline, on the West Coast, there's some amazing ecstatic dances that we can check. That, by the way, we're going to plug that in right now. Most likely, there's going to be a very juicy, beautiful, magical tour of a few fairies this summer on the West Coast of the United States. So stay tuned for the dates and the details, because if you are on the West Coast of the US, and even if you're not and you want to come to the West Coast of the US, we're going to have a few gatherings along the way, and we're going to announce the places in which we are going to gather for juice and fruits and music and dancing and sharing and loving and connecting all the juicy angels together.
Gonna be so fun. I'm super looking forward to it. So excited about this. So stay tuned. I really pray and claim that we are making it happen, that it is happening. So yeah, I'm super looking forward to that. And also to our incredible immersion in November that we are putting together, spearheaded by Queen Noa, inviting me to join her in beautiful Bali to host an experience of a lifetime with food, living food, sometimes just liquids, meditation, water therapy. It's going to be so beautiful. So Noah and myself, well, Noah's the one that's organizing the retreat, and here to support her and to co-host it with her. So it's such an honor to be part of this as well. And I hope you all can join. Please share our intention.
Yeah, well, basically what Aline just shared and some of what we talked about here today, that's what we are going to dive into, but for 8 days together in a very dedicated container, to open up your wings, to remind you of the angel that you are, and that you have your own experience. Because it's not about me saying, or Aline saying, or anyone else telling you how much light you have inside, how much I've heard it in my life, but it's not until I actually got the taste of it, the taste of that nectar, and that's the name of the immersion, the nectar of life, is for you to have that personal, intimate experience with your own light inside, with that nectar of life that lives inside of you. So all those different elements are going to be included so you can have that experience. And it's going to be amazing fruits. And like Aline said, we're going to dedicate 3 days to coconut water, only watermelon juice, or a combination of both. And you'll be completely guided and supported throughout it all. That if it is your first time, then you're going to have a lot of support around you around that. And to say that this immersion also is going to be suitable for both those that are complete beginners on this path, maybe you're just getting into this whole lifestyle, and those that have been on this journey for a while. So you're going to get exactly the medicine that you are meant to receive. And whatever is your next step, this immersion is designed to help you step into that new height that your soul is calling you to rise into. And yeah, the different elements of the yoga and the different practices, the nature just alone. And we're going to have one day dedicated to complete silence. And we'll dive deeper into meditation and the sound frequencies and how to use your own voice as your own healer and medicine, and massages and water therapy, everything and anything that can help you to get in touch with the truth of who you are and release that which is not.
Powerful.
And we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of
A
fun.
lot of fun.
It sounds
I
very
mean, look.
serious, but we're going to have a lot of fun too.
Absolutely. Oh no, it's going to be magical. It's going to be magical. I'm really, really looking forward to this and doing this with you, collaborating and seeing the transformations in people. That's really what I'm the most passionate about. And I've I've been feeling called to do retreats, to do these types of offer these kinds of experiences. I really wanted to collaborate with somebody that I felt very aligned with to do this, because it's something very special, that to help and support people through life altering, few days. And I've been on these retreats where I was myself, whether yoga or meditation. I've been to these places, plant medicine, where I was completely transformed after that. And it's truly like special to be in this position today, to be able to hold space, to hold sacred space for our friends and family who are ready to take that leap and really love themselves and really tap deeper into their calling too. That's what it's all about, right? Like, we're here to help people to come to their higher calling, to their highest potential in this lifetime. And that's what everything that we're talking about ultimately helps us to do, is to come to our highest potential. And it can look different for everybody, right? It can look different for everybody. Maybe for somebody it's to be the greatest wife and a home caretaker and take care of their kids and do that really well. Others, it may be that they have a talent of writing, they want to write that book, and they're meant to be a writer or have a blog, or, or maybe somebody has like public speaking gifts that they don't even know about until they really start to activate their energy centers, bring their chakras spinning in the right direction, meditating with themselves, eating their great food, and then it's like you come online, you activate something within you. It's an activation. So this is really what this is all about. Everything that we're talking about, bringing in more light into the body, grounding, being naked, meditating, all of these things to activate you, right, to the highest frequency. And so powerful. It's like we are more of these energetic practices that we do, the more energy we hold, the more uh, power we hold as well, and the more things we can do, right? You told me today, like 2 years ago, or 5 years ago, that I didn't even know how to hold a schedule on my phone. I will tell you, I couldn't even keep a schedule. That's how disoriented, disconnected, and I'm not saying like time is whatever, but like I couldn't even maintain any kind of routine in my life. Like, it's just night and day. But putting in practices has helped me to be more disciplined, more organized, believe in myself more too. Doing a live like this, my nervous system was so out of whack. I couldn't even do this. I had so much anxiety. I was struggling with a lot of anxiety, a lot of self doubt, of like, I can't do this. And I couldn't even leave a voice clip. I couldn't even leave a voice clip for the life of me. I was so shy. So you can do amazing things, and please use me as an example. Complete metamorphosis. And I am just getting started. Like, I am 41, and I feel my life is just getting started. My purpose, I'm just starting to know who I am. Like, this is the beginning, and just start wherever you're at. Like, I encourage you, don't wait till, like, I know I'm going to speak in front of thousands of people at some point. I know I have books in me. I know, like, all these things are going to come in the right time. And I'm not going to wait till that happens to start sharing, to start speaking, to start doing these calls, to start, like, like these are the steps that we take to get to, I mean, there is no destination really, to get to our next place, and our next mission. It's like mission. I started seeing this life as like a big, uh, kind of like a game, like there's levels we have to pass. There's like a video game, like a bit of a simulation. Like we get, okay, if I open this door, this was what happened. I could open this door, and this is what's gonna happen. So there's just, it's all experiences, and it's all yours, and it's beautiful. It's very incredible. So yeah, I went on a tangent there.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful tangent, Queen. I absolutely love it, and you were so spot on with everything that you said and what you shared. And as you were speaking, also, it's like this beautiful butterfly that just landed on the leaf here, and so it was just a confirmation. Yeah, it's the butterflies, it's unleashing those butterflies for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. Yeah, there's really not much to add to this. It was a beautiful share. And I did share the link to the immersion if you want to check out more of the details. It's on the live chat. If you tuning in from YouTube, then it's going to be in the description box. And yeah, just contact either Aline or myself for more information, or if you have any questions or anything regarding anything. And also, I want to add to the immersion that we are going to be offering support pre and post immersion. So it's not just, oh, you're going to come to Bali for 8 days and then forget all about it. It's the integration that is the most important key. So yeah, we're going to have a little bit of prep, but it's like a couple of weeks even after the immersion that we're going to continue to stay in that field. So we'll have our own group chat, and then Aline and I, and we'll have Zoom meetings or video meetings a couple of times just to help you integrate, because that's what I've seen again and again on this path. You can have a mind-blowing experience of whatever it is. Even with juice feasting, you can go and do a juice feast for 150 days, and it's like boom, like so much opens up. But like, where's the integration? And so it's that integration piece that is very, very important, so to help embody everything that we've been talking about. So it's not like something you need to think about, but it becomes a way of living. It's so embedded in you that you embody it easily, effortlessly, naturally, with ease and joy and grace and a smile on your face.
And that's the greatest way to learn too, is going through that experience with others as well, to continue on those habits, like you said, just more effortlessly throughout your life. Like, it's one thing to just follow a YouTube video and say, okay, I'm going to meditate myself here. But when we do it collectively, when we do it in a group, something magical happens. Something gets anchored into us. I remember doing my first Art of Living. It was a 3-day session where I learned the first like Art of Living, and something changed in me because I did it with others. They taught us a certain breath work, they taught us the meditation, and I've never been the same since. So there's definitely codes that we go and get with others, and also the collective, especially meditation. When we come to meditate and do yoga together, helps us later on in life to continue those habits, and that's really the goal. This is long-term, sustainable changes to help you feel your best and be your most radiant self.
Yeah, the butterflies are agreeing with everything you're saying. It's amazing. I don't know if it's the same one. We're just like flying around. Well,
Even in the theme of the butterfly, even I see Faith came in too when we were just with the butterfly. We've been in the theme of the butterfly, talking about the transformation of the butterfly, how
transformation,
it
yeah.
becomes goop before it turns into a butterfly, the caterpillar. It becomes like, and then it has these imaginal cells that reconstruct it, and It's a whole process.
Magic. It's absolute
Magic.
magic. Yeah. And Alina, you'll probably get this, obviously, because you're a Christ lover.
Yes.
Um, when you said about doing this in a group and how powerful it is, it's like when two or more gather in my name.
Yeah.
It's that's one of the reasons why it's so powerful.
Mm.
And that's why the power of community, the power of the tribe, is immeasurable.
Mm.
And it makes it a lot easier for us as the individual cell, so to speak. Like if you know, okay, this is what I aspire to. I would love to live more in radiant health,
Mhm.
whatever is your next step. Like having that inspiration around and just even being in that energy field. That's the thing. We are energetic beings. So it's even like through osmosis, you can just be in someone's presence and all of a sudden you notice, I'm not craving that junk anymore. Or, it's much easier for me to just do watermelon for 600 days. It's just, or, or let go of this toxic relationship. You
Yeah.
become more courageous because you are in the presence of someone that embodies courage. They don't even need to tell you anything. You're just in their presence. And that's why also when you go to, let's say, um, ashrams or spiritual centers where you're in the presence of very powerful beings that are very embodied, it's the energy transmission that actually makes a big impact on our own energy field that transforms who we are on a
Mm.
cellular level, right? So that's another reason why it's important to surround ourselves, because it's not just, live in a community or a tribe, yay. But it's like, okay, but who am I surrounded with?
Mm. That's
So
deep.
only with ones that uplift, inspire, and help you to see who you truly are.
Mhm. Mm. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Wow. Well, thank you for this powerful and beautiful talk as always. I really love our time together, and I thank you so much for everything, for everything that you've done in my own life. I certainly feel much stronger around you, and I hope that I am bringing that same energy to you and to others and paying it forward. That's what it's all about, like, everything that Noah has done for me and is doing for me, like, I hope to, share that and do that for others as well, and to lead by example and lead with my heart always as you are doing, and, like, be that light for the world. Together we are that, we are such light, helping so many people, and, feel so grateful for you. So, mm.
Grateful for you. You're already doing it.
Yes. Day 4 on watermelon. Yes. Back at it after a little detour, going for it. No stopping.
We
We'll
always
see.
have fun on those detours.
I don't know. Yes and no.
There's always a gift in the
Always
detour,
less.
even if it's not fun.
Mhm. Definitely.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Well,
thank you,
thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
thank you to everybody who joined us. Please check out the website that she posted if you want to learn some more information about the immersion that we have going on in November, and we will keep you posted as well for our tour that we are doing, that we will come in.
Yeah.
Most
When and
excited.
if. Maybe
Yes,
maybe because I was excited. Maybe it was too soon to announce it. But yeah. Um,
it's okay. We'll try. We're trying to make it happen. We're trying to make it happen. If not
yeah.
this time, then it'll be
What,
a little bit, but it is
exactly.
happening. It is happening at some point.
Yeah. If it doesn't happen, then it's okay, and you just come to Bali.
Exactly. Just come to Bali.
Uh,
I love you so
and
much.
love you
I
too.
will see you on the next one. Bye,
Yeah.
everyone. Thank
Bye.
you.